my name's Natalie and welcome to another episode of I Had a Drink With, the show where I get to sit down with amazing leaders in the tech industry, ask them about their experience, and we get to try some funky flavoured drinks along the way just for fun. Today I'm here with Emily Grinton. Emily is the Chief Product Officer for an amazing startup called Hava. Now Hava uses automated layouts to create real-time diagrams of your existing infrastructure and network topology. So thank you so much for joining me today, Emily.
It's my pleasure. So happy to be here.
Amazing stuff. Well, I'm going to explain a little bit about what's going to go on here today for you and for anybody at home who has not tuned in before. Essentially, I'm going to ask you a question and give you a moment to impart your amazing wisdom onto our audience. And then we're going to try a funky flavoured drink in between each question, and I'm going to try and get you to guess the flavour.
Amazing.
Okay, amazing. Well, let's get started. I like to start off with a little bit of an intro to you usually. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your career so far.
Awesome. Well, my name is Emily.
Good intro.
I know my name. I've been working in the tech industry for probably over 20 years now, which is really terrifying to say. Wow. But I started my career in 2001. I graduated computer science at uni in the middle of the dot-com crash. And I really struggled to find a job, so I found myself working for Telstra Big Pond, fixing dial-up modems as my first role. So I was really happy to have spent all that time studying computer science to be working in a call centre. I did end up having a great opportunity through that to experience working in customer support, which I think is a great place to start your career, even though it might not be that much fun. But from there I went on and I spent about 10 years working in ANZ through various roles. And after that I realised that I did kind of want to get back to a more technology-based job. So I ended up moving over into consulting and I spent 10 years working for various consultancies, culminating with Servian, who I've just recently finished up with, and then moved over to Hava. So it's really exciting to sort of be getting back into a product role and a smaller, tight-knit team, and we've got some really exciting challenges in front of us.
I can't wait to hear more about it, but with that, we're going to take a sip of our first drink. So I ease everybody into it, so you probably don't want to worry too much about it. Cheers. Pretty stock standard.
Oh, I would say that is Sprite.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it, 100%. We'll move on to the next question. So, as you mentioned, you're now with a company called Hava, and I'd love you to tell us a little bit more about them.
So Hava is a Melbourne-based startup. We're born and bred in Melbourne, founded by Peter Gatt and James Martelletti about 8 years ago now. We came into existence really to solve the problem of architecture becoming much more dynamic. So it used to be that you'd kind of build a system, it would stay in place for a while and you'd put the picture of the architecture up on the wall and that would be fine. But now we're in the cloud, everything's dynamic, people are deploying multiple times a day, things change all the time. So we set out to build a solution where you can always have up-to-date diagrams of what your architecture is looking at that's always correct.
Sounds like a really useful tool that you guys have there. And with that, we're going to take a sip of our next drink. So hopefully this one's just as pleasant as the last. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love it. We've got a cheersing thing going on here. Sometimes giving it a smell can help. Like,
I was going to say I'm getting a cherry.
Yeah. Close. Cherry is not quite it.
Strawberry?
Yeah. Can you taste some like that aftertaste coming through? It's a bit of a trick one, this one, but strawberry, you nailed it.
Yep. Yeah, that's not bad.
Strawberries and cream.
Oh, strawberries and cream.
Can you taste the cream coming through at the end?
You said it, I can.
Isn't it fascinating?
Someone was just explaining to me about milk punch the other day, so...
Yeah, you can get milk in all sorts of different forms these days.
Yeah.
And there you go, strawberries and cream in a soda. Something new.
Beautiful.
So we're going to move on to the next question. I'm really curious to know why a company would want to use Hava's products.
Yeah, it's a great question. A lot of tech companies like to use Hava to explore their cloud architecture. Could be new people to the team or a team that haven't worked with that particular asset for a while. So it's a really good way to just get in and familiarise yourself with it, know exactly what's there. Also, a lot of consultancies use it. It's really good. That's kind of where we started as cloud consultants. It's a really good way when you get into a client just to get a really good look of what is actually there. Because sometimes what people think are there, it's not exactly what's running, and it's not uncommon at all for us to have like COOs sort of look in there and go, oh, what's that? Why is that what's that doing over there?
Ah.
So it can be a good discovery tool in terms of just understanding what you're getting and like expanding your knowledge of the environment that you have, but it's also good for the monitoring and compliance and sort of keeping track. So if you want to move into more of a monitor and manage framework, as opposed, there's a lot of sort of command and control and gates and change boards that are sort of out in the world at the moment in terms of how you're doing changes, and we're sort of enabling people to move into more of a world where you can see exactly what's going on, step in if you see something that's getting a bit out of control, and not having to control things so tightly.
Yeah, as things scale and get more and more complicated, I'm sure that tools and products like that are designed to monitor things will only become more and more important within organisations as things become much more complicated than they are now.
Yeah, absolutely, and like using things like alerts and being able to see the differences really quickly and what's changed, particularly as audit and compliance and security and cyber posture becomes more important as well.
Yeah, sounds very useful. I'm going to get you to try this next one. It is the one that I'm worried about. I'm wondering what it smells like.
The colour looks prune-like. The smell is
indistinguishable.
Earthy.
Oh, that is very good. Okay.
It's sweet.
Taste. So this is the thing about the sodas. They're essentially just sugary drinks that have like an aftertaste. The smell is what you were on the right track with.
Okay, I was going to say tea, but now I'm thinking mushroom.
Yeah, it's actually, when I tell you what this is going to, you're going to be so mad at me. Dirt flavoured.
It's dirt flavoured. Well, thank you, Natalie. It's an experience.
Yeah. As soon as you smelt it and you said it's earthy, I was like, she's nailed it. I can't believe she's got that without even tasting it. Yeah, that one I've been wanting to try for ages. And
yeah, I'm going back for seconds on the dirt.
How interesting, right? It comes through at the end. Like, it's like left on your tongue at the end.
And also, why would someone make that?
I don't know, but I'm so glad that they did, because this has been such a great experience. And like that leads us to our last question. I'd really love to know about you, obviously being a female leader. I want to know a little bit more about what you think are the most important traits for a female leader to have.
Oh yeah, this is probably my favourite question, and I have so many answers on this, but I think probably the key thing that stands out for me, and it's people harp on about this all the time, all the way through your career, but I think it's super, super important, is to ask questions and engage with what's happening. I think it's very important early in your career to get in there and understand what's happening, but even as you become a leader in that space, it's easy to just go along for the ride and assume like, oh, there's lots of people here, but someone sort of understands what's going on. If you don't understand what's going on, ask and make people stop and explain to you what's going on, because half the time if you don't understand fully what's going on, there are other people who are doing exactly the same thing. And I think being engaged in what you're doing and what your team's doing is super important for you, but also to know how to support them better, and just how to actually get a really good outcome and a result in what you're doing.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's a really, really good take-home point, and it's something that, you know, is maybe a little bit different to what people would typically answer that question with. So I like the fact that you've come at it from a slightly different angle.
I do want to not be totally cliche.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. I've cottoned on to what you're doing there. That takes us to our very last drink of the night. So I hope you enjoy. Hopefully this one's pleasant.
Wow.
Yeah, this one will be nice. That's a potent smell.
Oh my God, that's like
Ooh, the aftertaste.
Caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favourites that I've ever tried, actually. That's actually
nice.
really pleasant, yeah.
That's nice.
Amazing stuff. Well, that takes us to the end of our interview. Emily, thank you so much for being here with me today. You've had some really insightful answers, and I can't wait for everybody to hear what you have to say.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like to connect with Emily, then feel free to do so. I'm going to put a link to her profile in the video's description. And if you'd like to connect with me, also feel free to do so. I'm always looking to connect with new people and talk about the market. But other than that, until next episode, bye.